Neil Harris was in charge of Gillingham back in August. I thought we didn't expect to see him again this season, and he probably wouldn't have expected it when he was at Cambridge last week. Mm-hmm. So, funny old game, football. I mean, another match with Millwall with another, having just sacked another manager, which I guess is symptomatic of a team struggling.
Yeah, I think, well, I was hoping never to think about the Gillingham game ever again, but you just reminded me of it. But I think, we were just talking about upstairs actually. It just sums football up how crazy it is. That Neil's now in his third club this season. We played against them once already in the Cup. Our team is so different since then, and I'm pretty sure lots of people watching that game would have probably thought we wouldn't be in this job still by now. So I think it does sum up how mad football is. But I'm really pleased for Neil. He's back at the club that he is absolutely idolised and adored at. He understands the club. He's managed them before. He's played there. And I'm sure that's the big reason of why they brought him back, is to get people to buy into him and to understand really what Mill were about. I feel for Joe. First manager's job is so difficult, and I'm really sorry that he hasn't had the time to do what he wants to do. And I just don't like seeing anyone lose their job being in this position. Understand how difficult it is and how lonely it can be at times. So I hope he's okay, and he's got very good background and been a coach for a long time, so I'm sure he will arrive somewhere else at some point and learn a lot from his experience. So yeah, we have a team with a new manager, someone who I'm sure a lot of the players will know, and they'll have the fans right behind them, players desperate to impress the new manager and fighting with everything they've got. So probably doesn't make our task any easier, but it never is in the Championship.
And of course, we don't have any idea how he's going to necessarily play or who he's going to play, because he's coming in with a blank sheet of paper, so that makes it harder. Your players are going to have to react on the pitch to what they see, aren't they?
Yeah, but I feel like they face everything in training we can possibly give them. And as I always say to you, like, I don't sit here tell the players I know exactly what the opposition are going to come with, because I don't. Because we watch Hull in the previous games before us, they look very different to the team that come and play against us in their approach. Bristol City the same. We watched them against Leeds the week before they play us. Then they come against us with way more aggression than we've seen from them since Liam took over. And the same with Hull, way more aggression. So whether that is a decision they make to play against us, and also, like, the guys we have to accept is a big scout for people, Southampton Football Club, with the players that we have in the building, and that's like without, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but teams are desperate to really go against the guys here because of the run we've been on, the form we've been on, and that's testament and credit to the guys, I think. So we have to step up to that, we really do, because then how much time do we spend watching the opposition? Because the approach changes a lot against us, so it's like a balance. So try and prepare the players for everything, and whatever Mill will bring tomorrow under Neil, hopefully we will be ready for it and we'll be able to react accordingly.
On Tuesday night you spoke about players taking responsibility when they're off the ball and doing the work to help the players on the ball a bit. When you've looked at the games where you conceded in the last couple of weeks, remember you didn't concede more than one for 19 matches. Has there been a recurrent theme you found, that's something you're working on, or has it been different things in different games?
I think we haven't reacted well enough to going behind, because for so long we weren't used to it. And each game's been different, so there's not like a recurring theme. We have two really key things for this team, is to be aggressive with and without the ball, and to show real courage to play football and to keep showing for each other and all that stuff. When we bring both on the pitch, I think the guys are capable of really spectacular things. They've shown that. When we're lacking in one, is become a little bit of a problem for us. And the other night was my fault. We changed the setup a little bit out of possession. What I felt was to try and be a bit more aggressive against a team that really want to try and play. But I didn't make that clear to the players, and I think the players got a bit frustrated that we were changing for someone else. So I learned a big lesson. So that's my fault, it's not the players. And then because of the structure out of possession, we had way less structure in possession. That's my fault, it's not theirs. So yeah, I don't think there's like a clear thing, like one thing. We've lost 2 games in 27 or whatever it is. They've been amazing. Bristol didn't prepare them well enough for what was going to come, and then the other night changed something, So yeah, it's not their fault, it's mine.
But of course, they have to take responsibility on the pitch. You can't carry everything on
their
your shoulders.
responsibility on the pitch is to be really, really brave and to keep showing for the ball and to keep playing the way we want to play. But again, that's helped if the team has real clarity and structure in what they're doing. And we tweaked it the other night, and maybe my fault for overthinking it, really. And I think as the season gets closer and closer to the end and the end goal, we get closer and maybe get closer to what we want to achieve. I think less is going to be more in terms of the thinking stakes, and it'll be way more about feeling, and so we have to trust that instinct a little bit more, I think, and hopefully tomorrow we will.
Just on the fitness of the squad, and obviously I'm getting bored of asking about Flynn, but he's an important player. So how is everybody? Is he closer than now?
Yeah, he's trained. So he's trained for a couple of days. We just need to assess whether how he reacts from today. So we'll meet the medical team as we do every single day just after this, and we'll see how he's reacted. And then make a decision on tomorrow. So whether he starts, whether he's on the bench, whether we wait until Liverpool and give him even more time to recover, we'll just have to wait and see. But he's a big player for us. He's really important. His aggression, his athleticism, his power, his composure, his courage to receive the ball. But we have a lot of really, really good players. So, if he's fit, great. Well, he's fit. But if he's ready to start, brilliant. If he's ready to be on the bench, brilliant. If he's not, then we just have to wait maybe another game.
Thank you.
Moving on to the section for 10:30 tonight. Happy?
That's one, cheers, Russell. You spoke a lot about bravery on Tuesday, and I suppose I just wanted to ask if it's been a focus this week in training, that some sort of reminding the players how good they have been when they've been brave, when they've been sort of responsible to take the balls off that and not sort of focusing too much on the low of the losing game.
So like we always focus on positive stuff, and there was still some, especially in the second half. But we also then have to accept the stuff that went wrong. I have to accept my role in that we didn't set up well enough or in the right way to achieve what we wanted to achieve on Tuesday. So nothing changes. Like, they got some brilliant examples of being really brave, some examples of why it didn't quite go to plan. So the problem that Bristol felt was without the ball, and the problem on Tuesday was with the ball. But that was again down to maybe our setup without the ball. So yeah, I think the process is the same, mate, whether we win or lose. Show them the really good stuff, tell them how good they are, and also accept like maybe why there was not as much bravery as there has been and courage as there has been. I think you have to accept the fear in this team. You have to accept the fear that's going to come and not pretend you don't feel it. Like, you're not pretend you're fearless. It doesn't exist. So the definition of courage is to feel the fear and do it anyway, really. So to accept it, embrace it. There's going to be some scary moments between now and the end of the season, as there has been from day one to now. And the way we've got through them will define and has defined what we've done. So my feeling is the same. I've said that to you all season. I've said that to the players. There's loads that I told them, there's loads that I'm scared of every time I wake up and think about this job before I go to bed. But I don't pretend to the players I'm not feeling that. But also I choose to continue on the path we're on because I believe in them so much. I believe in what we do, and I take great pride in that. So, and the players have to be the same. So, like, I've been in their position, been relegated, some of them in the building, chasing promotion back to the Premier League. The fear of not being a Premier League player ever again will creep in. Some of them will have, hopefully all of them will have the fortune of doing that. I really believe we can together. Guys with different contractual situations, different pressures from families, all this stuff. So let's just like feel it all together, embrace it all together, and then just be really brave. And I say this to them all the time. What they've done, they're the bravest players. Honestly, like, from where they were to where they are now, that takes so much courage, and they just need to maintain on that path, really. And it's our job to keep them in that place and to stay brave ourselves. And the only way you do that is to accept what you feel and not pretend it's not there. So be scared, be excited, and then be brave is the only choice, really. So fear is not a choice, courage is. And that's all I'm going to ask for the players from now to the end of the season. That's all I've asked, really. It's all we've asked. With all the detail and all that stuff, is the two fundamental things, is to really run for each other, really, really hard, like give everything you've got, and then to want the ball and receive the ball, and to play under big pressure, and I think it's why the team connects so brilliantly with the crowd now and the fans. Because I think people appreciate how hard they're working for their team and how brave they are to play the way we want to play. And it's not for everyone, but when they do it and they stay brave, honestly, I've said to you so many times how grateful I am for it, and it's been incredible stuff. And I'm sure there'll be some brilliant moments between now and the end of the season, but there'll also be some scary ones as well.
You come out here and sort of take quite open responsibility about things that you think you've made a mistake on. I was wondering, what's the reaction from the group of players when you sort of first stand up and take responsibility for something in a unit meeting or a team meeting, whatever it is? Because I imagine you've been in dressing rooms where that isn't always the case.
Yeah, so I think like this, as a leadership group, us, myself and the coaching staff, in this role, if you care, then you feel responsible for everything. But then you have a brilliant support team, and who challenge and support and enable me to do stuff I want to do, and hopefully I enable them as well. But like when you sit there at night time in bed, and you think about things, like 5 or 6 people come with me with their families, change their lives in terms of their whole, the kids' schools, all this stuff, and then you inherit a brilliant group of people here who have been so good and supportive of us, that you don't want that to end, and you don't, you hope they feel part of it, and you want to keep that going. And then the players who have come in and done what they've done, been amazing. So you sit there and of course you have to take responsibility. And I think it's the easiest thing in the world to blame the players. And when I sat in the dressing room as a player and lacked a little bit of clarity or belief in what we're doing, and then the manager would come out and criticise you, and sometimes just felt it was a little bit unfair, because actually at times it was difficult, really difficult. So our job is to try and give as much clarity and understanding to the players as possible. They understand why they're doing what they're doing, to then make them believe in it. And then if it doesn't quite go to plan, then there'll be bits in the game that of course the players can do better and all that stuff. But you have to look at yourself first. I really think that. I tried to as a player, I tried to as a parent, as a dad, and I will do here for the players and for the staff as much as I possibly can. So when I say to you it's my fault, it is. And Bristol City was my fault. My energy was not very good, and it transmits to the players. I think teams always end up reflecting their manager's personality, pretty much. When you look at like the teams over the years down the line, there's some really like clear, when someone has a really clear way of doing it, whether it's to play lots of passes or to not play lots of passes, the team often reflects the manager's personality. I think is an extension of the people leading the team, the management team, the coaching staff. I'm an extension of Jason and what he believes in, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So and then the coaching staff believe in the similar values to me, and we're always going to have a little bit of a different opinion, and then our job is to then put a team on a pitch that reflects that. So when the energy is not right, then it has to be on the leader. When it's maybe you come up against a team and they play brilliantly and they beat you, then you have to hold your hands up. But the 2 games we've been beaten in, I've left both feeling like I've made mistakes. And there'll be games where I don't, where if we get beaten, I feel, okay, maybe I've prepared them as well as I possibly can, but this didn't go well. But these 2 I didn't. So of course I'm going to take responsibility for that, because I love the players. I'll never come out here and say they need to do more and all that stuff. The Bristol one, we need to run more, but again, that's my fault, because I haven't prepared them for what's coming. So yeah, I think it's really, if you're going to do this job properly and be all in and try and get the players to really believe in something, then you have to take responsibility when it really matters. And yeah, I'm really, really comfortable with that.
I know Adam mentioned Flynns, whether he's available or not. I mean, I suppose how excited are you about having Joe back in potentially from the start? You obviously took the captain's armband on Tuesday as well. I suppose the second question, how much does that mean? Because you didn't have either of your captains on the pitch, Adam Marshall and Jack Stevens, and you elected for him to wear it.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone to Shay Adams, Jan Bednarek, Will, the way he's playing, the way he's taken on. Yeah, so much responsibility. So, but I felt Joe, because he's a brilliant teammate. He's a brilliant person. He's loved by everyone here, staff, players. And so I looked at him and I knew straight away. You take the armband. I think he was a bit surprised. He had a double take, but he takes huge responsibility on the pitch, off the pitch. He's a leader in his own way in terms of the way he gets around players, and especially the young guys, and looks after them, and but also sets really high standards. He's on people if it's not quite right, which is not very often because the group trains brilliantly. But yeah, he's just a fantastic character. So if we don't have Adam and Jack on the pitch and he's on there, then I'm really comfortable with him wearing the armband, but I'm also be comfortable with a few of the others. And I think the more people you have that you would consider for that role, the better. So yeah, it's not very often we're not going to have Jack and Adam on the pitch. I'm convinced of that. But if we do, then Joe's a really perfect person to wear it.
Just finally from me, Jan Bednarek is 1 yellow card away from a 2-match ban. Coming into this sort of game, you've 13 games left. How do you sort of manage that? You can't tell.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I can't tell Yanni to take any edge away from his game. So he made 2 humongous tackles in the middle of the pitch the other night. He's on a ban, but I think he understands that he still has to do what he needs to do for the team. And I've got Jan Bednarek for me is an amazing player, amazing person to work with. We speak about him all the time, I'm pretty sure, but some of his performance has been incredible. Like, I think it goes again. Probably another one who goes a little bit underrated. I don't know what the narrative is around Yanni with supporters, but I know he had a difficult time last season and went away and all that stuff. But I hope everyone sees how committed he is. He has a huge say in what we do with the ball in the build-up and all that stuff, and also like gives his opinion all the time to us, which is a brilliant thing. And I think he's really grown. I've really enjoyed watching him grow, as I have so many of the others. So if we lose him, we have 2 other brilliant centre-halves and other people that can fill in there. So it's like less of a concern. But of course you don't want to lose Yanni. But I don't know what the likelihood is in the next 4 games or whatever of him avoiding a booking. To play the way he plays, to be all in like that is quite difficult. So I'm not going to ask him to manage himself in the same way I wouldn't do that to Flynn, and it's a big part of their game. So yeah, go all in. If he gets booked, we'll deal with it. If he doesn't, then even better.
Much one of those cases where perhaps the game before Leicester away, for example, you might Winston a little bit every time he's.
No, I think they're all tough, mate. There's no like, we need him for this one, get booked for that. There's no tactical. Well, not from me. Maybe in Yanni's mind, I don't know, but I doubt it. But I don't think there won't be any tactical yellow card for us to try and miss that game to be fit for that game. No chance. They're all difficult, and it'd be disrespectful to the opponent we're going to face, and it'd be disrespectful to the team actually. So yeah, there'll be no tactical booking. Go all in. Be how you've been. He's been amazing. Just keep doing that.